Hello, and yet again welcome back to Milk It Reviews. It's been a while since I've done a pouch review, and I have over a long period of time accumulated quite a few additional 511 pouches compared to, in addition to the ones that you've already seen. I'm going to put them all together in one review because it's bit pointless, right? A minute or two on each of them. But it's just really a question of, give you an idea of sort of physical size that you can get a bit better from a review compared to looking at pictures. Right, now I've got a little idea in my mind which calls me to go for the 610, which is this, right, and also the 106, right, which is the landscape version. Okay, we'll just turn those over and show the difference in the slick stick system. I still can't say it after all this time. Right, the idea I've got going through my mind is using these as expansion pockets for either the All Hazards Prime or the All Hazards Nitro. Right, I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but if it works out, I'm going to run up a separate video on that. Right, so I've got two 610s, a 110/6. The idea is these hopefully will fit on the sides, giving a bit of additional storage space, and this one underneath on the bottom, right, making use of those tie down loops on the bottom of the packs, right, which at the end of the day I don't use, so they might come in handy for attaching the slick sticks through. Right, the reason that these are called 610 and 106 is just their physical size. 6 inches wide, 10 inches deep, 10 inches wide, 6 inches deep. Right, it's as simple as, really. The 610 has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 4 loop molly. It's got 2 slick stick attachment points on the back, double YKK zippers. Right, it's made out of 1010 denier ballistic nylon, right, the same as the packs are. Right, it's extremely well made. Right, so it's there's not a lot more you can say about it other than the fact that, if it stands up to the same rigours as the packs do, which is no reason why it wouldn't, you've got these things for life. Right, so bar any major accidents. Right, the 106 has got 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loop molly. Right, but on the back you've got 4 slick stick attachment points. Okay, I mean this sort of thing would fit nicely on the back of a load vest, right, for just additional bits and pieces to carry, right, on that load vest or plate carrier, right, the same as the 610s would. Right, so lots of versatility with those, but watch out for another video, because if that all comes together I'm going to be running another video of that and show you what difference it makes to those packs. Right, H2O carrier, water bottle carrier. Now you can get a 1 litre Nalgene bottle in here. Right, it's very well made. A very good friend of mine's got one of these. Right, it's got Velcro securing on there, together with Duraflex quick release buckle on the front there. Right, flip it over, you've got 2 slick stick attachment points on the back there. Very well made. You've got a bit of additional molly on the outside if you wanted to attach any additional pouches to it, such as the smaller sort of mobile phone pouches, which are really good for carrying the small compact GPSs in now. Right, so that give a nice bit of additional carry space there. Right, we'll just pop that one over there. These I love. This is the large drop pouch. Now, for those of you not familiar with these, I mean that is basically it. Right, it folds up, it fits on your belt, on your pack, it's out the way. Right, you've got 2 slick stick attachment points there. Right, lift up the flap and abracadabra, out pops a nice big pocket pouch, whatever you want to call it. It's got an adjustable bungee cord closure at the top. I mean, these things are great if you are in need of a dump pouch for magazines. If you're collecting evidence, right, you need somewhere to put it, right, you know, I mean, they all, the uses that these can be put to, right, are quite phenomenal. They fold up nice and neatly, they tuck away, it's out the way. Right, these are absolutely superb. So this one's the large dump pouch. Right, dump pouch, drop pouch, let me have a quick look. Excuse me 1 second, I'll get me dumps and drops confused here, which I shouldn't do really, would you believe it? Large drop pouch, sorry, my mistake, not dump pouch, drop pouch. But like I say, it's again, the outers are, I'm sure this is sort of like a 500-600 denier nylon. It feels a bit light to be 1050, right? But at the end of the day, again, it's ballistic nylon. It's as tough as they come. But the good thing about it is, you could carry this on a duty belt, and it's out the way. It's not getting in the way at all. You deploy it if you need it, and that really, to me, is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Because, right, you know yourself, right? You end up with a duty belt. You could just end up with so much gear on it, right? If you've got a need for a bigger pouch like this, right, to have it fold up out the way, right, is just absolutely superb, right? So don't forget that, right? It's Christmas is coming. Nice little thing to pop on your Christmas list. Now, the 6x6 pouch. Right, there's two versions of this. I've got both of them. This one is the padded version. Right, it's got a good, I'll say about 8mm thick padding all the way round on this. Right, it's absolutely everywhere except where the zip goes, but that's neither in nor there. I carry a pair of 10x42 binoculars in this. Right, I know of people that carry electronic equipment in them, you know, GPSs, that sort of thing, because of the padding gives the protection. The other version of this, which I'm sure I've done before, right, is exactly the same, but it's not padded. Right, on the back you've got two slick stick attachment points, and on the front we've got 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4 loop molly attachment there, so if you want to add another little pouch on the front of it, you can do. Double-ended YKK zippers. Right, I love this to bits. I don't actually carry this on anything, I just keep binoculars in it, right, inside the pack. Right, and I know they're well protected. Right, all of these pouches you'll find are water resistant by the sheer nature of the material that they're made out of. They're brilliant. Right, drain grommet in the bottom. Right, again, like I've said in other videos, if you don't like the idea of that open hole in there, just stick a bit of gaffer tape on the inside of it and it's out of the way then, right, and you're just not going to get any ingression of any dust or dirt in there. Right, the other little thing is the closure over the zip once it's done up, right, it's not a waterproof zipper, and by no means will that closure keep the wet out, but it will keep a majority of it off just by the way that it folds in over the top. Magazine pouches, haha, love these. Right, these are the AR mag pouches. Right, this is obviously the single and the double. Right, both will carry one mag in each. What I like about these is you've got the best of both worlds with 511. Right, you can have, as this one is, right, the bungee cord retention system. You just put it across and out comes the mag. Right, that's great. Right, but if you don't like that idea, right, you also got the flap. Okay, now this is the same with both. Right, the flap itself would fold over the top of the magazine and Velcro on the inside. So you've actually got a flapped cover. Okay. Right, with these pouches, you get, let me try and do it the wrong way. You get a pack of the bungees with the pull loops on, just like you've got on this one. Okay, I've left this one so you've got a flap on one side and the bungee on the other, just so I can show you. Right, it is an absolute piece of cake to install these bungee pulls. Right, the instructions are actually on the packet, and it really is a piece of cake. Probably take you a minute or two on each. and then you've got it the way that you want it. Right, these have got a nice elasticated loop around the middle, so it keeps it nice and compact. If you're carrying this on a plate carrier or a load vest, right, then when you've got nothing, they really are as flat as you can get, right, and that's just not with me squashing it, that is the way that it is with that elastic strap around there. Even without the bungee cover, with that elastic strap around it, it still makes it a secure fit. This is not flopping around. It comes out easy enough, that's not an issue, right, but it's not going to jump around, right, if you were running, that's not going to come flying out of there. Right, on the back of the single mag AR pouch, you've got 2 slick stick attachment points on there, right, and on the double one, you've got 4, funnily enough. I will go into slick stick in a minute, right, once I've done the last one of these, right, I will cover that in a second, because some of you watching this may not have seen the slick stick system, right, so it wouldn't just have a quick run through it, but it does make attaching these and detaching them from equipment very, very simple. Right, whoever actually thought of that design needs a pat on the back. I've seen, and no doubt you have, numerous methods of making attaching molly kit. We've seen lots of different methods. Some work, some don't, right. Some are absolute garbage, right, but we won't go into any names on that, right, but I must admit, having the way that this works, right, really does make a big difference. Now, we're going to go on to, I won't do that yet, right, excuse me a minute, these are the MP5 pouches. Right, again, double, single, right, and they carry the normal standard MP5 stick magazines. Right, on the narrow one, the narrow one, we've got a single slick stick attachment point, and on the double we have 2. Right, again, just like the AR, you've got the ability where you can have the bungee attachment like you've just seen, right, or, excuse me a minute, things stuck in holes, sorry about that. Right, you've got the ability of either having the bungee attachment over the top or the flap, right, so it really is personal preference, and a lot of it depends on, that's it flapped over there. Unfortunately I don't have an MP5 mag to show you with, right, but I'm sure you can work that one out for yourselves how it works. Again, you've got the elastic strap round there. Now I like to try and think of different uses for things, right, because not everybody is going to want to go running around with an MP5 mag hanging off of them. These pouches in particular lend themselves to other uses very, very nicely. Now, you may have seen a review that I've done on the 511 TMT L3X flashlight. Now this is an 800 plus lumen flashlight. I'm not going to light it up because it plays havoc with the light metering on the camera. Right, it runs on 3 CR123A batteries, gives you just an idea how big it is. Right, now the thing is with this, that is a formidable bit of kit. Right, I'm very impressed with that. But belt pouches, because it's quite long for a personal flashlight these days. Remember when a personal flashlight used to be this big and it's just about like the way down the average hallway, right, if you were lucky. Normally made by Pifco, if anybody's old enough to remember that. But these pouches are great. With this one, I've tucked the flap in underneath the strapping on the actual pouch, and I'm sure you can work that one out. Right down the bottom it's attached by the Velcro. That is a superb flashlight pouch for that flashlight in particular. Absolutely made to measure, that is. And the great thing about it is even without the flap over the top, it's still really quite, it's firm. It's not going to come out of there at all. So you might, instead of having it as a flashlight pouch, the ever faithful 21-inch asp. Again, perfect fit. Right, if you really want to be super flash, then you can use your double one with your baton and your flashlight. right? So when it comes down to the nitty gritty, right, always try with anything you look at, think outside the box, because I know of people that have literally walked past this sort of thing looking for a flashlight pouch. And why? I mean, you've got it here, right? It's superb. It's a beautifully constructed, compact twin pouch unit, right? You can actually set up the, we go into this, let's do this now, right? Let's take these out, right? You can set up the slick stick system, so you could just wear this as a belt pouch. It doesn't have to be set up. Let me just zoom this in a bit, excuse me a minute, back, old age. Oop. Let's bring that in, that's better. Right, so you can actually set this up to use it as a belt pouch. It doesn't have to be attached to Molly as such, poor Molly. Right, but by undoing these oversized poppers, which I love these, I think these are brilliant, they're huge, look at the size of that. Right, superb, and they fit well, you know, they really do go well. On the back here you've got a number of loops. Just use the one without the back, the labels on. Just keep it a bit clearer. On the back here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. Right, and the idea is, as you're well aware, right, when you're loading up your Molly, right, you weave in and out. Sorry. Sorry. And the same on the item you're attaching it to. With the slick stick system, you haven't got that awful flimsy strap you're trying to weave, right? I use a pair of surgical hemostats, right, and at the end of the day, right, I mean, I struggle, right, I wrestle around the floor with it like you've never seen before. But with the slick stick system, where it's stiff, it enables that weaving. It's like having a sort of a needle, right, to weave through the thread, right, and it's great, it works really well. But what all you do with this is, say if you're using just a general 50mm wide duty belt, if you go through, ignore the top loop, go through the second, third loop and then attach it on the bottom popper, you've got that much space, right, which is more than enough to get a 50mm belt through. So straight away, it's not just a Molly attachable belt, and that applies to all of these pouches I've just shown you. Right, it doesn't just have to attach through Molly fitting. Oh, wrong way. I will get used to this one. Everything's back front. Right, you're not just stuck with that. It will only fit one thing. Right, all of these things you can use on a normal everyday belt. Right, right. We'll just move that one over out the way. Pistol pouch, pistol mag pouch. Again, just think about the MP5 pouches. Again, think outside the box with these guys. Right, you've got the ability to have either the flap. They're just a miniature version of the MP5 pouch. Right, they're great. Right, so you get your normal Glock Beretta mags, right, fit in there quite nicely. Right, if you want the bungee attachments, again, right, you get that in with it, so you can easily convert it to that. Right, on the back you've got 2 Molly attachment points. Right, absolutely superb. Right, now the thing is with this, when it comes down to it, all of these pouches, they work extremely well. The great thing about them is that what I like about Molly in particular is the fact that everything becomes interchangeable. As you know, I'm not going to sit here and teach you to suck eggs, right? I'm really not going to do that. But when it comes down to it, always, 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 and I'll keep going on about this with these pouch reviews, always think outside the box, right, when it comes down to selecting pouches, because I love to find dual usage for things, right. I'm a bit of an inherent tightwad when it comes down to it, and if I can find something that one day I can carry magazines in and the next day that I can just go and stick flashlights in, right, absolutely superb, right. I really get quite taken by that. If you're new to Meal Kit Reviews, please, please, please hit the subscribe button, right? Lots more to come in the near future, lots of exciting new stuff, right? to come in the very near future. If you're a subscriber, I'm not doing it because I don't make any money out of this. Please believe me, right? I've never made a penny out of any review I've ever done. Right, I do it because I want to do it. I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I believe in the product and the brand that I'm reviewing. No other reason. Right, I won't lie to you. Right, everything is always completely honest and above board. I've learned over the years that it doesn't pay to buy cheap. Right, lots of cheap out there. Lots of hugely expensive, lots of mid-range stuff, and some of that mid-range stuff is good, right, really good, right, but please hit the subscribe button. If you do that, you'll get the updates on when the new reviews are published. If you have any questions about any of these pouches, about any other product that you've seen me review, please drop me a line. Now, it may take me a little while to get back to you, depends on what I'm doing, right, but I will come back to you, and I promise you, if it's possible, I will come back to you with the correct answer. I never mislead you. If I don't know, then that's the answer you get. Sorry, don't know, and don't know anybody who does. If I can't find the answer myself, I will try and find it from someone else, and hopefully they can answer it. If not, we're all in trouble. Right, but please, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Any questions? Fire away. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.